Hello everyone, welcome back to Humble Acres. Alright, today we are on an adventure to go get 3 FJs. So I purchased technically three FJ40s, Toyota Land Cruisers off of Facebook Marketplace, and they're about 2.5 hours away. The thing is about them is they're all tore apart. So I'm actually gonna have to make multiple trips to get everything, but he has 3 titles to 3 different FJ40s. So, I mean, he kind of listed everything that's in there, but it was a lot of stuff, a lot of new parts as well, some partially restored, so it's a really good deal. Yeah, I don't really know what to expect because the pictures, like there were a lot of pictures, but not of everything, and yeah, I may not even go through it after I see everything, but we'll see what happens. So I guess let's go on the road and see what we find. All right, well, as you can see, I'm back home. I didn't record anything while I was there because it was kind of stressful and some things didn't actually go as planned. So this is my first load of stuff. So you can see I have one partially together FJ40, and I got an extra transmission, some axles, a bell housing. I have a ton of body parts in here. It's just full of doors and doors and hoods. I think there's like 3 hoods, and there's just a ton of doors. So back here we have a whole brand new Old Man Emu suspension kit. It's like a 1 to 2 inch lift kit, and it's brand new, never even opened. So that's worth like $2 grand right there, new. This body is in decent shape. You can see it's kind of bare metal, but they also kind of modified it, which isn't great. Like you can see they welded on some like skid rails or whatever and cut out the fenders a little bit, and the whole back is welded solid, so not really sure about that, but anyway. Yeah, there's just a ton of parts, and this is only about half of it. So there's another whole FJ that I'm gonna get that was running and driving, but it's also all taken apart. And then we have a third frame, just a frame, and it was completely redone, painted, like powder coat. I don't know if they powder coated or painted it, but it looks brand new, and it was just bare. That's the one that he was gonna build up, but he just got sick of the project or something. So this is what we have. And we also have 2 sets of brand new wheels and tires as well that I need to get the next time I go up there. But it's gonna be 2 weeks before I can go back up there because the guy's very busy. So my trailer got some weather coating there, so that's good. So that'll help it from rotting, I guess. But yeah, there's so many doors and windows, or doors, and there's just so much stuff in here. I have 3 hoods and just doors galore and body panel. There's just so much. I didn't even actually see everything when we were loading it because there are people helping, and we loaded it on the trailer, and then that's not even all of it. The back of the Sequoia is completely full of parts too. You can see this is just completely packed full of parts as well. So he actually had bought quite a bit of new stuff. So like here's the defroster hoses from Spectre Off-Road. There's those in there. We got a radiator here that is pretty smashed, so that's not great. We got heaters, we got jump seats. I have a fuel tank which looks like it's new. So that's a nice savings there. That is a plastic or fiberglass tank, so yeah. Anyway, that's in there. We just got a part, like random parts here. I didn't notice that it was broke, but like brand new Toyota parts. I haven't even gone through any of this. There's a brand new parking brake cable, I think. Oops. Yep, parking brake cable. So I actually need one of these, so that's plus. I don't know what this is. Oh, this is the little heater duct. So I actually need one of those too. There's just a bunch of like random gaskets and stuff, and it's just, there's so many parts I need to go through and see what actually is here. There's a lot of brand new parts as well, and yeah, I have to go through everything. There's so much. There's another tote here full of, oh, this is a lot of the axle components. So he actually had a front axle with disc brakes, and somewhere in there there's boxes of brand new front brake calipers as well. So that brake discs on the front would be really nice to have. Whoa. So let's see in here, we got a dash, some running boards. Oh, we have a whole soft top frame, and the actual soft top itself is here. We have some soft doors to go on it. We have half doors. I think there's 2 sets of half doors. There's a set of soft top doors. There's just so many parts. Yeah, I really just need to start unloading everything and getting everything inside because I don't want it to sit out in the rain. Luckily, all of these parts and FJs and everything were inside a building, so nothing's like rusted and terrible. So I want to try to keep it that way. So, oh, we also have an extra 4-speed transmission. So that's really nice to have. And then we have 2, the transmissions, all the drivetrains are in both of the FJs. So there's a 3-speed transmission in this one. There's a 1F engine in here. He said both of the engines run and drive. This one has a stock carburetor on it. So we covered it up, but that has a stock carb on it. The other one has a Holley carburetor on it. So yeah, it's kind of just a hodgepodge of a bunch of different things, but I paid quite a bit for all of it. So I'm hoping that I got my money's worth. But my thinking was that pallet of new suspension and the 2 sets of wheels and tires are worth about half of what I paid. That's my thinking anyway. And then there's also an air locker too. I think it's an ARP air locker for a rear differential. So I don't know how much that's worth. I assume it's like $600 or something, but I honestly have no idea. I didn't even look because I didn't even know that was there until I got there. So I hope I didn't make too big of a mistake buying all this stuff. The price I paid, I'll just tell you, I paid $9,000 for everything. So it's a lot of money for me, and it was honestly more of an investment than anything. I figured I can probably, with the one I have and the other parts one I have and all of these parts, I'm hoping I can make one nice one and then sell the rest and hopefully come out ahead. So that's my goal. It wasn't the deal I originally thought, because I thought there were actually 3 of them. But he had 3 titles, but the titles are messed up. All of the titles are messed up. That's the big issue I'm having. So I actually was able to talk him down once I got there, because yeah, he says he didn't understand the titles were messed up, and it was a big pain in the butt. We stood there for like 2 hours talking about the titles, and the VINs just don't make sense, and they don't really match the vehicles, and it's very messed up. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about the titles, but I was just at that point, I just got to a point I'm like, okay, I'm just looking at this as parts. Are the parts worth the money? And I came to the conclusion that they were, so here we are. Yeah, we have another front axle here that's half taken apart. We have this front axle that's completely taken apart. And we have the axles, the internal axles for those are back here on this pallet, along with the steering component. Like there's just parts everywhere. Alright, we are in the hen house here. I've never actually had my tractor in here, but it fits perfectly fine. Back here is where I have some free space, a bunch of motorcycles and stuff, but I need to kind of clear the space for both of those FJs to sit here and all the parts. So that's kind of the goal right now. A lot of this stuff is honestly garbage, or I need to just get rid of it, but I have some old barn beams over here that I really just need to get stacked closer to the wall. And yeah, there's just a bunch of stuff that I just really need to get rid of a lot of stuff in here, but now is not the time for that. So yeah, I'm just gonna try to clear some space and then stack all the stuff in here, and then hopefully that'll be good. So I got everything cleaned up. I got quite a bit more space here. I kind of just shoved everything to this side, stacked all the wood up, got the motorcycles pushed over, all the lawnmowers and everything pushed over. Funny thing about all these lawnmowers, I have 4 lawnmowers here and I don't push mow anything. So problem is, like, you can't even probably see, but this lawnmower is the lawnmower my dad used when he was a kid. That lawnmower I used when I was a kid. That lawnmower, my dad's aunt bought brand new and has passed it down to me. This lawnmower, I used when I was older. My dad bought it brand new and he gave it to me when I got my first house. So all 4 of those mowers have kind of a sentimental value to me, so that's why I can't get rid of them. Anyway, so we got enough room here for probably close to 2 FJs. We might need to move the motorcycles to get both of them right here. But I was really curious about what came in this suspension kit. So I opened this box up and it has literally everything in here. It has all new bushings. It has all of the U-bolts for the axles. It has all of the shackles, and they're the greasable kind. It has a steering stabilizer in there. It has all 4 shocks. It has these greasable pins for the one side of the leaf springs. So it's definitely the nicest, like, very complete kit you can possibly get for one of these. So it's definitely valuable, so that's good. Anyway, let's get this set over here somewhere and then we'll get the rest of the stuff. There's probably a big gap in the video cuts right here because I was having a heck of a time unloading all that stuff into the building. So we will go and see everything once I get it all put away, but just wanted to show you, this is the last of everything that I bought. So this is a 73 Land Cruiser, and then we have a frame that is basically brand new underneath it here. It's been either powder coated or painted. It's probably been powder coated because the finish is amazing on it. So yeah, brand new frame. The guy was going to use to actually do the restoration. He was going to build this one up from scratch. But yeah, this is what I got. And this one, he actually said was running and driving perfectly fine, but he was taking the parts off to use for the new one. So that's kind of why it's partially taken apart, but I have all the parts to fix this one up and make it good again. So that's what we're gonna do. This one's in fairly good shape, kind of. Well, by that I mean all the parts are here. The body's rough still on it. You can kind of see that. And this one has been repainted at some point. This is not the original color. There's actually a lot of Bondo on this one. You can probably see it best on the other side. The hard top has a little bit of issue right back here too. yeah, the body over here, you can see there is a pretty decent layer of Bondo on here. Well, yeah, it's probably a 1/16 of an inch or so. It's fairly decent size. And like right here, it's way worse. It just needs to be taken back down to bare metal so I can actually see what is actually good on it, because I don't know, maybe it was fixed correctly a long time ago, but it's probably just a very old restoration, and this happens, like they rust again, especially if you don't try to do rust proofing really good. This just happens again. So the fenders, the rear fenders on this one are cut out, so that's why you see this on here. And then I think the floors on this one aren't good either. The doors look pretty decent though. These are very solid doors, so that's good. We do have the seats for it. They're not bolted in. We just kind of threw them in here. But the floors are all just sheet metal over here. The other side looks fairly decent. So, I don't know. Well, I'm not 100% sure what we're going to do with this one, but I will actually have a title and all the matching VINs to this one. So this is actually the only one that I got an actual real title for that matches the VINs. This frame I don't have a title for, unfortunately. The VIN number is on it, but I don't have a title that matches that. I have found a way to get a title for pretty much anything I want, but it's gonna cost a decent amount of money, probably around $2,000 to do that. But all you need is a bill of sale, and you can basically get a title in Vermont for anything. So, well, not anything. It has to be older than 15 years old, because in Vermont, they don't actually have titles on vehicles that are older than 15 years. They just use registrations as the titles. So you can basically, even from out of state, you can register a vehicle in Vermont with just a bill of sale, because it just shows that you purchased it legally, basically, and they will transfer it and give you a registration and a plate, and they'll mail it to you, even if you're out of state. It's kind of crazy, but this is how they get all their revenue. And then you can take that registration to any state in the US and transfer and get a real title for it. So I don't know if I'm gonna end up doing that, because it's a lot of money, and I don't think this frame is worth $2,000 just to get a title for it. I feel like somebody would probably just buy this frame and swap it into their one that has a bad frame and just use the title that they have for it to begin with, and they're just not gonna care if it has a different frame. So I live in Iowa, and here in Iowa, I actually called them and asked them what I would need to do if I swapped a frame out that had a different VIN than the rest of the vehicle. And they said that you could just come and have it inspected, make sure basically that the VINs aren't stolen, and then they would issue the vehicle a new title, or a new VIN number. So it wouldn't have like one of those FJ40 dash VIN numbers anymore. It would just have a whole separate VIN. But I think that's kind of a waste of time, honestly. If you're just going to swap it into a different vehicle that has a title, then it doesn't really matter. I mean, the back of this one seems pretty decent. There's obviously some rust repair and stuff, so we're going to have to see how good this one is once we kind of, you know, start messing with this. The nice thing is this is basically the same exact one that I have already. So any parts that I need should be exactly the same as this one. So I was actually going to look at like the hazard light switch and stuff, because it seems to work really nice, and like a lot of these switches I don't have, or I actually broke. So it would be really cool to actually be able to use some of these. Like the clutch cable, or the choke cable actually works, but I don't think that's the original choke cable. But yeah, the inside of this one looks really good. I do have the dash panel here. It's not on here, obviously, but I do have the part that goes on here. It's not in great condition, but the bottom ones actually look really good, though, so that's good. This has the original 3-speed transmission in it, which it seems like it still works fine, so that's good. Goes in all the gears, so. And then it has the manual 4-wheel drive lever, which is really nice. Don't have to worry about that vacuum stuff, so that's good. Parking brake is not even there. doesn't exist. So I think I actually have a new parking brake cable. Oh, the key's in it too. That's a good deal. I didn't even think about that, so that's nice. So yeah, I mean, we pretty much got everything we need. Oh, it has the light too. My other one's missing the light. Yeah, this one's actually probably in better shape than my other one. He said this is actually the engine he was going to use when he redid everything, and this one has a Holley carburetor on it. Now we have to figure out how we're going to get this off of here, because we actually lifted the front of the FJ up with his skid steer, and then we slid this frame underneath it. And you can see the front is just sitting on a board on the other frame. So we're gonna have to figure out how to lift that up. I also forgot to mention, the original color of this one was, I believe you pronounce it Pollux Orange, which is actually a color that I was thinking about painting mine. I feel like it's a pretty rare color. I've never actually seen any. You can see them online, but I feel like they're a pretty rare color because you don't see them very often. I really like this color, and I like that it was the original color. But I mean, on these you can't really tell what the original color was of them as long as you paint it really good, because there was no way of knowing the original color of them. There was no paint tag, and even going based off the VIN, you can't tell what color it was. You can kind of, like, certain years had certain colors they could be, but that's all you can actually go off of. But this one was originally Pollux Orange, and it would be really cool to repaint it to that and drive it and have it as that. So I don't know, it's kind of up in the air what I should do or which one I should keep, but I need to get my money back, so one of these two needs to get sold for quite a bit of money, so we'll see. Let's see what we can do. This tractor always surprises me, so that worked easily. I wasn't even maxing out the hydraulics, so I'm gonna try to pull this out now, and then I'm gonna put the FJ on jack stands. All right, let's get this sat down on those jack stands. Hopefully they're lined up right. Well, that went about as good as it could. So you can see I have a little bolt on the end of the fork so it can't slip off, in case you were worried about that. And then I have this chain holding it on there onto the end, so it should stay there and we should be able to pivot on that as well. So let's get it backed into the garage over there and get on some jack stands, and it should be a lot easier to work on. So, I figured out why he has a new frame for this, and why he wasn't going to rebuild this one. So, you can see here, the frame is actually completely rusted. This is all just dust basically right here. There's a bunch of dirt and stuff inside. And all along here you can see it's like split. So the frame's bad. That's why he has a new one. And then also, if you look in the back along there, it's also not in very good shape. I mean, that's probably salvageable, but this is by far the worst. I mean, it's rusted through all the way along the bottom here, so this frame is bad, and that's why he has a new one. So it makes sense that if we want to rebuild this one, which I'm kind of leaning towards rebuilding this one because I like the color of it better. I think the logical choice is to sell my other one, keep this one, replace the frame with the one I have. It doesn't matter if the VINs don't match because I have a title for the other 2 VINs that are on here. Should be fine. And then I can use all the components off of this, and then I have that brand new suspension that I can put on this and on the brand new frame, and I think that's the way to go. So there's a good chance that's what we'll end up doing, but for now, let's get the rest of it unloaded, I guess, and see what we have. I still haven't decided where I'm going to put this frame yet, and I can't sell it now because I need it, so I don't really want to leave it outside either because, I mean, it probably won't rust, but I don't know, I just don't really want to leave it outside. So let's go find a spot for it indoors somewhere. Alright, so I decided that we are going to put the frame right in here next to the FJ in this garage. I'm going to put some boards underneath it so it's not sitting on the ground in here, although it should be dry, but we'll keep it up off the ground. We'll just lean it up against this wall. Should be the best solution. So yeah, I put a battery in here. I haven't started this in quite some time, so let's see how easily this starts. All right, have a key now. Let's try it. Well, that went over well enough. Pretty darn reliable, it runs good at least. So, let's get the frame in here. Alright, there's a million wasps in here, so this was a lot of fun. Somehow I haven't gotten stung yet. I'm sure I will, eventually. But we got the FJ back in there, frames in there. So that should be fine. I got strapped to the wall as well there. I don't know if you can see, but I'm not gonna go back in there. They're just everywhere. So anyway, let's get the rest of the stuff put away. Well, here's some of the stuff in the back here. So we have a whole gauge, which this is for the, well, I don't know, the 73 already has one in there, so I guess this is just another extra one. I have like 4 or 5 of these extra now, but I mean, I guess it's better to have too many. And then we have like shift boots, some fuel tank straps, there's a fan shroud, a grill, metal stuff. And then these pieces are actually ones that he already had finished painting and everything. So these are all like brand new basically. So yeah, these this was the color he was gonna go with. It's actually a really like a grayish green basically. It actually looks really nice, but probably not the color I'm gonna go with. But all these are basically brand new. I have a tinted windshield up there, which I don't think we can legally have a tinted windshield where I live. And then here we have this bezel, which this is off of an older one because it still has the little marker lights down there. But this is in really good shape. And then we have the little side skirts things here. I forget what, the aprons. Yeah, we have the aprons that are all painted. And then we have this whole front grille and bezel and everything that's painted. And it looks like brand new. So yeah, this this looks really nice. This is for a newer one, so this is probably for like a 73 or something. So I'll probably reuse this because this is, yeah, like brand new. Really nice stuff. Too bad I didn't finish all of this because that would have made it way better, but probably would cost more too. So anyway, let's get all this in there. We're gonna get all these tires in here, and then I'll show you the rest of the parts that we have. We have a lot. Let's go through all the parts I have here. It's a little dark. I have a light, so hopefully you'll be able to see everything. So to start off, we got this set of wheels and tires, which you saw in the trailer. These things are 35 by 12.5 by 15. And these I'm probably just going to sell because they're way too big for what I'm going to try to accomplish. So I should be able to get about maybe $1,000 for that set, hopefully. I have this set of wheels and tires. And these are much smaller. They're, well, not much smaller, but a little bit smaller. They're like a 32-inch tall tire. And these ones I'm probably going to try to use. The wheels look like brand new, honestly, and they're a good design too. I kind of like how they look. And I actually looked up these tires, and these are expensive tires. So yeah, these should be good. They're on a 16-inch rim though, which was kind of a bummer because I was going to mount these tires on these rims here, the original rims, but the original rims are 15-inch, so that's not going to work. I was contemplating just selling these as well because between the two I'd make plenty of money to be able to buy a new set of tires that I actually want for the original rims, but hard to say. Anyway, next on we have an air locker that is brand new in the package here. So that I'll be selling. That maybe will bring $800. I think they're close to or just over $1,000 new. And then in here we have all the pieces that go with that one. And we have this is like the axle rebuild kit here, and bearings and just everything to rebuild a front axle. And we have disc brakes. You can see the rotors right here. So one of these was disc brakes, and there's brand new calipers somewhere right there. There's a brand new set of calipers right there in the box, and brake lines for them. So that's pretty awesome. Let's see, I have 3 hoods here. This is the one that is for the red 73, not a split hood because, you know, it's 73. And then we have 2 more split hoods here. You can see by the little crease down the middle. So these are probably worth more, and all of them are in honestly decent shape. I think the red one's probably in the worst shape because it's got a little bit of rust on it. But the split hoods I actually like better. They look cool, and I like the little chrome piece that goes in the middle. See, I have a dash here, which this one's in kind of rough shape. So yeah, unsure if I'm going to use that or what, but it's a little rough. I actually have a cool idea for a dash. Let's see, we have the original fender for the 73 back there. The other problem is this firewall wouldn't work with what I want to build because I want to have the front disc brakes, and this firewall is not set up for that. Like, I don't even have the steering column for this one. It's mysteriously just not here. So I would most likely have to replace this firewall anyway, unfortunately, because it's in great shape. But I guess I could like just cut out this part and weld in a new one, but I don't know. Anyway, the frame on this one's good though, so that's something. Have some wheels on here. These are from a much newer FJ, but they're the chrome ones too. I mean, they're pitted and they got a little bit of rust on them, but those could be painted and look pretty darn nice actually. I've been tempted just to use these ones because yeah, they're pretty nice. And I wouldn't have to redo all those, even though I kind of would like to have the hubcaps and stuff, but I don't know. Lots of decisions to be made. This engine, I haven't heard this run yet, but I mean, everything's there for it, so we probably could try to get it running at some point. It's got an original carburetor on it that looks like everything is all there. Oil filters on there. I mean, everything is on there basically. So yeah, that's this engine. I assume it runs. It's got oil in it. Who knows? This VIN plate is not for this body. I know that for sure, because that VIN plate goes back to like a 74, and this body is much older than that. But I assume the frame is correct for this body. So if that's right, this body is a 64. It's a very early body and frame. The engine is newer, I know that. But yeah, that's what this is. The soft top bars, we got a whole soft top. We got another frame there, which is also, I don't know what year that one would be for. I think that's for an older one as well. And then we have rear jump seats, which I think these are for the 73, the red one as well. We have a bunch of half doors and then some that were like cut and welded half doors, and these ones are just the bottom halves of the doors. And then we have like 3 sets of doors. Back here we got a wiring harness for an early, like I think it's like a 70 or 71, I think. There's just a bunch more parts in there. We have skid plate, some more aprons over there, some rear barn, or not barn doors, but the rear lower doors, another bezel there. We have 2 new fenders back there, but they're like reproduction ones, so they're not great. They're like the ones I did, or I bought from my other one. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm sure I'm not telling you about some stuff, but a lot of it, it's very overwhelming trying to figure out what I want to keep and what I want to get rid of. There's another speedometer gauge thing there. Like, I have so many of those gauge things. I really should just sell off a couple of them, but I kind of want to figure out which ones work and which ones don't before I sell them. Oh, I forgot this. I got the hood emblems for the split hoods right here, which are in really good shape. I got 2 of those, and then I have 2 of the apron things, emblems, and then I have an ignition switch here too that has the key still, so that's pretty cool. And this is an early one, so my guess is it probably went to this one here because that's where it goes, right in that hole. So yeah, this one I like the most because it reminds me of my 67, because this is how my 67 was, and I really miss that one, and I really liked it. So I suppose let's go up to the house and see if we can get that 73 running. Yeah, before we do that though, if you guys have any suggestions for me, which one I should keep, because at the end of all this, I want to have one really nice one. So I have so many parts and bodies and whole things and title. I got so many titles for, yeah, so many different ones. Some I just have a title and they don't match anything, so I just have a blank title for a random VIN number, and the VIN number isn't on any of the ones that I have, so I don't even know what to do about that. But I do have a title for the VIN that's on that body in there, and then I have a title for the one that I kind of fixed up and got running, and then I have a title for the red one that's in the garage that we're gonna go see right now. I need to figure out which one I want to keep and restore to new, but I need to sell some of these to regain my money. So I spent like 9 grand on all of these parts, and I need to at the very least recoup 9 grand. But I figure if I make one, but I don't want to pick and piece parts out from all of them, and it's been a very tough decision. There's way too many different things I could do, and yeah, at least I have a little bit of time before I really need to start this, because this is most likely going to be a winter project. But I've lost a couple of nights sleep trying to figure out what I'm going to do, because it's been a little stressful spending that much money on this too. I honestly don't have a whole lot of spare money laying around, so yeah, it was more of an investment because I figured I could probably make some money on it, but I don't know. Let's go see if we can get the 73 running. The guy said that this is the engine that he was actually going to use when he was building his good one. So I was just going to put, I don't have any fuel source, there's no fuel tank in here. But I was going to hook the battery up and see if we get some type of electrical things going on, to like test lights or something maybe too. Wire harness is a little messed up. I opened up the radiator and there was still pressure in there, which was very surprising. So I assume the radiator is pretty good. Let's turn the key on here. The key was right in the ignition. Turn the lights on. We got lights. There's lights in here. The headlights are on. Side marker lights on. That's a good sign. There's not one over here, but this one's not working. Tail lights are on. That's good. That one's also not working. But that's a good sign. I wonder if the fuel gauge won't work because there's no fuel tank in here. Looks like the ammeter is working. Yeah, and I don't know about the rest. And try to turn it over, see what happens. That's a good sign. Alright, turns over. It's not in drive. I guess actually there's no drive shaft hooked up, so probably won't have to worry about that. Alright. That's a good sign. Let's why don't we pull this air cleaner off here and squirt some fuel down there and see if it'll just fire off real quick. That'd give me a little bit of peace of mind anyway. I was looking at the paint. So you can see right here, that's the original Pollux orange paint. And underneath the dash, like up underneath where this cowl is, it's all that original orange paint under there. So I definitely know that was the original color of this, which is really cool. It seems to return most of the way. So that's good. I wonder if we hit the gas pedal in here, if it's going to actually do something. Let's see. Does it move? Yep, but it gets stuck. That's not a good sign. It's probably why there's this gigantic spring on it. They probably had troubles with that. So why don't we hook that up here somewhere. Like that. Now, I bet you that'll return. Let's see if that returns. Yeah, that's doing good. All right, there's a little bit more light. Sorry about that. I was just working in the dark for some reason. But anyway, so yeah, it seems like everything's really working. We got these. I guess we can't really try turn signals. Does the horn work? Horn never works. Throttle linkage is probably going to work where it's at there. This is the choke lever here, which actually does look like it works. So I can adjust that on the inside. Sorry, can you not see that? So this is the choke here. And the cable does seem to move. It goes to the inside, so we could get that working. Why don't we just spray some fuel down there and see if it'll fire off. I got this here. I guess we could fill the bowl up. That might not be, we got the little vent tube here. There's probably not really enough gas in here to fill the bowl up, so anyway, I put a little bit in the bowl, but that's not near full. Let's just spray some down there and see what happens. Alright, let's see what happens. I should pull the choke maybe. Pull the choke. Let's see. has oil pressure, ammeter's working. That's all I can really tell. Well, that was a really good sign. We have oil pressure, the alternator is working, and it actually ran really good. If we had a fuel tank, it probably would just run fine. That's pretty incredible. Good job.
All fixed.
Yeah, didn't really have to do anything. I put a spring back on. Well, that's cool. Yeah, we have oil pressure, so that's really good. This filter looks extremely old. Well, I guess it's just been sitting a while. It looks like it might be a Wix, though. That'd be good. But yeah, the exhaust sounded really good. This header, I guess my 67 I had a header like that, but it had a terrible leak in it. But this one, the whole exhaust system's brand new, and it actually sounded really nice. So this is going to be a start of a pretty big project, because I need to get one of these running and sell it, and I need to get, or I don't need to get, but I want to get one really nice one built for me too. So I plan on keeping that Old Man Emu suspension kit that he bought. It's all brand new in the box and everything. It has all the shocks and springs and everything, and it's supposed to be a 1 to 2 inch lift. So there's actually a Toyota dealership near me that during the pandemic, they actually completely restored it because they didn't have a whole lot of stuff to work on, and they completely restored it back to 100% Toyota OEM parts. The only modification they made was an Old Man Emu suspension. And honestly, it sits in their showroom and you cannot tell that it's not stock. It gives it a nice little bump in height, but you can put a little bit bigger tires on it, and it looks really nice. So I think I will end up doing that, but I just need to figure out exactly what I'm gonna do. Whether I'm gonna do this one, which I'm leaning towards this one because I like the color, but at the same time, the whole body's junk, so I need to replace the body anyway, and at that point it's gonna have a new frame, a new body. It doesn't really matter if the colors are original, so it doesn't really matter. I should just really pick the nicest one and do that, I think. I don't know. I really just don't know what I'm gonna do. So anyway, that's enough ranting for now, or babbling. So hope you enjoy this. There'll be more FJ stuff to come, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.